Good evening and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Source 16 News at 10. Thanks for joining us. Near this hour, traffic was stalled for a couple of hours this afternoon on Interstate 24 at exit 86 near the Fort Campbell Boulevard interchange after a recreational vehicle caught on fire. As you can see in the video, melted tires and metal frames were all that remains of the vehicle that was traveling westbound. Christian County Emergency Management Director Randy Graham told us on the scene what he believes caused the fire.
A RV that was traveling through pulled over, having some mechanical problems, and the unit caught fire and became totally engulfed with flames by the time the firemen arrived on the scene.
After initial reports of 2 people trapped inside the vehicle, Graham says the family of 4 inside the RV was not injured and managed to escape before it was fully engulfed in flames. The Oak Grove and Herndon Volunteer Fire Departments and the Fort Campbell Fire Department responded to the scene. In other news, Farmington Elementary School has a new principal. According to Graves County School District spokesman Paul Schomburg, Farmington Elementary School Site-Based Decision-Making Council this morning selected Matt Matting as its new principal. Matting, a 2002 Graves County High School graduate, returned to the school as a teacher in 2006. This past school year, he chaired the math department, served on the district instructional leadership team, and was the district representative in the Kentucky Mathematics Network. He has been the Graves County Elementary School's Little League football coordinator since 2006. According to a news release, Matting called the position a great opportunity and said he plans to provide teachers with the tools they need to help students learn both academics and character. Matting replaces Denise Whitaker, who served as principal for the past 9 years and was recently hired as principal at Murray Elementary School. Farmington Elementary consistently has ranked among the top schools in Kentucky academics. In 2007, it was honored as one of only 11 Kentucky schools and one of only 287 schools in the United States as a No Child Left Behind Blue Ribbon school. After more than 2 hours of discussions, Hopkinsville City Council last night passed its first reading of the operational budgets for the current and upcoming fiscal years. The city's $25.2 million proposed operational budget for fiscal year 2010-11 passed on a 10-2 vote with Ward 5 Councilman Charlie Henderson and Ward 6 Councilwoman Ann Cherry both voting no. The city's proposed $26.6 million operational budget for the upcoming fiscal year also passed in its first reading on a 10-2 vote, with Councilman Henderson and Councilwoman Cherry again voting against it. In addition, the city's proposed capital budget for fiscal year 2011-12 passed on its first reading by an 11-1 vote, with Councilwoman Cherry voting no. Meanwhile, Councilman Henderson spoke about his concerns regarding entryways into the city.
I'm still concerned about the entryways to our community and the appearance. When you come in down Fort Campbell Boulevard, I know we've got a fair amount of contract labor alone, but I still think there are certain places in cleanup that our city employees that we need to put a plan in place that we're out there weekly taking care of that. And if that's something that we don't have allocated enough to, then we need to have that discussion to see what needs to be done. Because it is, at times it's embarrassing. Other times it's just things that we can get very busy at doing a lot of things. But there are things that really send a clear message to those who come into our community as well as those who live here that we need to be taken care of.
City Council then approved adopting a residential enterprise zone housing incentives program, which Councilman Henderson says would benefit the entire community.
If you're familiar with land costs in and around the city of Hopkinsville to build a subdivision, those costs have just dramatically gone up, and it makes development very, very difficult. That's why I think this is a well-done program.
In other action, City Council authorized the mayor to sign a Hopkinsville Christian County Emergency Communications Center interlocal agreement to provide a centralized dispatch center for emergency services within Christian County. Council members then approved to transfer $9,000 to help fund the Christian County Senior Center's Meals on Wheels program. Ward 11 Councilman Wesley Grimes spoke about how the Christian County Senior Center desperately needs financial support.
Let everyone know just how hard these people work over there. They've been through a hard, trying times. They're trying their best to work the way I believe that they work. And all these events that they're holding here, just help the Meals on Wheels and serve the people, old and elderly, I mean, sick, as well as against entertaining people. So all this help, they thoroughly deserve and need it, like I said.
City Council also authorized the mayor to sign the 2011-12 Kentucky Homeland Security Grant application to purchase first responder safety equipment, among other items. And speaking of last night's council meeting, Martha Martins of Roney Drive spoke to council members during public comments about her neighborhood's flooding problem. Source 16 spoke to Martins at her residence this morning about her continued concerns.
Okay, my concerns are still our flooding problem here on Roney Drive and the raw sewage, the effects it's having on people's health. And I had a lady to go with me last night that has pictures from 1987. So her father fought this problem until he died. And in those pictures we saw toilet paper on the ground, which was a proof of raw sewage in this neighborhood since 1987. So we really feel like we have got to have some help now.
In addition to her flooding problems, Martin says she is outraged to know the Hopkinsville Surface and Stormwater Utility Board is putting other projects ahead of fixing her neighborhood's flooding issues.
Research that I had done from the Tetra Tech company, this is the company that the mayor spoke of. This company is the one that did the 112-page master drainage plan. In that drainage plan, they have different fixes for different pieces of property. What I'm really upset about now is they are trying to buy out a property on Country Club Lane. It's called the Looking Glass. It's a place of business and 2 rental houses. We have 32 people that I've counted already on this side of Roney that are being affected by the same things I am. Some of them worse, some of them not quite as bad.
Through her research, Martin says she has discovered a city employee actually owns the property that the Surface and Stormwater Utility Board may reportedly buy out due to flooding.
There is a person that works for CDS that owns this property. He has owned it since the year 2000. He's worked for CDS since 1997. So I'm just wondering how this project has gotten ahead of us, and we've been asking for help since the 1985 at least, since I've been here, that we've been asking for help for this area, and we haven't got it. And they keep pushing us back, and we really, really need some help.
Following her comments, Mayor Kemp responded about Martin's concerns about the buyout on Country Club Lane.
That the Hopkinsville City Council has, by ordinance, has delegated to the Surface and Stormwater Utility Board the authority and power and the directive to work on flood control, stormwater issues in Hopkinsville. And so the stormwater utility hired an engineering firm to do an assessment of all of the stormwater issues in the city, and then to come up with a prioritization system where you assign certain points based on a lot of different criteria. There was actually a very detailed mathematical criteria that the engineering firm used to rank projects. And that's what the Stormwater Utility Board is relying on to determine the priority of projects.
Martins told Source 16 she plans on attending the next Hopkinsville City Council meeting to once again talk about flooding issues in her neighborhood. This week, the city of Madisonville is showing off its beauty for the America in Bloom Madisonville judges who will be in town tomorrow and Friday. The community is participating in Ladies and Gentlemen Start Your Engines, which is part of the Turf and Ground Cover category of the America in Bloom Madisonville program. The program encourages home and business owners to participate in this section of the program by grooming their lawns this week. A former Fort Campbell soldier is accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of military equipment. Federal prosecutors charged Kyle Baker of Clarksville with theft or embezzlement of U.S. property and conspiracy to defraud the United States. According to court records, Baker is charged with stealing plate inserts for military body armor, ammunition magazines, radios, thermal gun sights, and chemical detection equipment from the Fort Campbell Post. An early morning burglary at a business in Graves County is being investigated by the Sheriff's Department. According to authorities, the unknown suspect or suspects broke out the front plate glass window of the J&M Mart located at 9082 Kentucky 131 in Kaler around 2:15 this morning and took several cartons of cigarettes and an undetermined amount of cash from a cash box. If anyone has any information about the burglary, please contact the Graves County Sheriff's Department at 270-247-4501, or if you wish to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 270-247-5000. And speaking of Crime Stoppers, now here is Hopkinsville Christian County Crime Stoppers Coordinator Officer Paul Ray with the featured fugitives of the week.
This week, Hopkinsville police need your help locating two wanted fugitives.
Police are looking for 36-year-old Philip Stephen Crum, who's wanted for probation violation. Crum is a white male who stands 5 feet, 7 inches tall and weighs 175 pounds. His last known address was the 700 block of Hickory Ridge. Police are also looking for 27-year-old De'Arrow Lee Higgins, who's wanted on multiple warrants. Higgins is a black male who stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall and weighs 160 pounds. His last known address was the 800 block of Monroe Lane.
If you know where police can locate these wanted fugitives, and we've got cash waiting for you. Pick up your phone now and call our tips line at 887-TIPS. If your information leads to an arrest, Crime Stoppers will pay you a cash reward. And remember, we will never ask your name, and you will not have to appear in court. Well, this week's Fugitive of the Week, I'm Officer Paul Ray for Crime Stoppers.